Hello student. Today we are going to study about the difference between the file system and the database management system. Okay. I hope that you have watched my previous video regarding what is database management system and what are its types. Okay. So let's get started. We have studied that database management system is widely used for arranging the data in the organization for efficiently managing their data. Okay, but before this DBMS, what file system we were using, and are we using that file system still today? Then yes, we are using the file system. Where we are using this file system? We are using this file system to manage our files and folder in our system. If I say the word system, it relates to either the laptop or either the computer. Okay. So we are arranging the files, we are retrieving the file. How all this task is done? This task is done with the help of the file system. We are not separately installing the file system. This file system is provided to us with the help of the operating system. Okay, it is a part of the operating system. So what is a file system? File system is a technique of arranging the files in the storage medium like hard disk, like your pen drive. Okay, and because of this file system, it helps you to read the data and write the data to the storage medium. This file system is available to us, okay, with the help of the operating system. Example of this file system is NTFS and EXT, that is a extended file system. So yes, we are using file system for managing our data, for managing a file in a system. Okay, what is database management system? Database management system is a software that manages the collection of interrelated data. One which is the software which is going to manage the database is the database management system. Okay, in database management system we are going to write a query, okay, which is executed by DBMS engine, and it will provide us with the specific data. Example of database management system is MySQL or Oracle and many more. So if we are using or we are having this file system, what is the need of this database management system? Okay, see, if we are using the file system, the data is available, but that data is only the limited data. Okay, for example, a personal data which is with us. Okay, but in a real life scenario, our data is being distributed. Okay, whatever data we are going to use is in the client server architecture. Okay, we require some piece of data. So we are not going to load the complete database in our system if we require the piece of data. Okay, we'll just fire a query and we will get a piece of data with the help of database management system. Okay, for example, if you are going to book a ticket in railway, okay, or in airlines, okay, so you are not going to fetch their complete database. Okay, so over here we are going to use the database management system. As our data is distributed, as our data is in the client server architecture, we are not going to fetch the complete database, okay, just to get the piece of data, because ultimately it will put a lot of load in the system, plus it is not efficient. Okay, it will put your data in the inconsistent manner. Okay, so that is the main disadvantage. So far we have studied about what is file system. File system is a way of arranging the file, okay, in the storage medium, whereas over here in the database management system, it relates to managing the collection of interrelated data. Now whatever difference we are going to study is on the basis of various point. Okay, so first is structure, how it is organized. Okay, so in the file system, the software is a software that manage and organizes the file in the storage medium within a computer. Okay, whereas this is your file system. Okay, this is your database management system, a software for managing your database. Okay, so first difference is based on the structure. Next is the data redundancy. Where do you find more data redundancy? Okay, obviously you might have experienced that your system is full of redundant data. Okay, in file system there is no efficient way to fetch out the redundancy of the data. You can store the same file, you can store the same folder. Okay, you can store the same file with the same name in different directory. Okay, if you are going to store the same file, you will just rename that file and you can store it in a same directory. Okay, so over here you are going to store the same kind of data again and again. But in the database management system, there is no redundancy. You can reduce the redundancy. Okay, because there are various constraints present. There are various constraints like primary key constraint that we'll study in a further lecture. Okay, there is a constraint of unique key, foreign key. Because of all these constraints, the data redundancy is reduced. Okay, and because of the reduction of the data redundancy, you are efficiently able to manage the data and the size of your data is not increased. Next is your query processing. Okay, now if you want to fetch any data in the file system, either you will fetch it manually, okay, or you will write a complete program to find a single stuff. Whereas in database management system, you are going to use the query processing method to fetch the data. Okay, so query processing is present in the database management system. Next is the complexity. Okay, file system is less complex. Okay, we don't arrange anything, we just store it in various drives and data, and it is not going to ask us any question. Okay, whereas in the database management system, the data should go in a proper order in the proper table. Okay, so there is much more complexity in the database management system. Next is the cost. Okay, obviously in the file system it is less expensive. You don't need to pay anything. Okay, you just have to pay for the operating system. If operating system is an open source, then well and good. Okay, whereas for managing the data in the database management system, you have to pay to DBA. Okay, you have to manage those data. Okay, so ultimately the cost is going to get increased. You have to pay for the backup and everything which is provided. Okay, next is the concurrency. Concurrency means number of people are going to use the same data at the same time. Okay, so in file system only one user can access data at a time, whereas in the database management system multiple user can access data. See, in file system it's not going to ask for anything. Number of people can access it, but it will leads to the inconsistent state. Whereas in the database management system, the proper concurrency control mechanism is provided, like your lock. Okay, various concurrency control mechanism is provided that we'll study. Like just remember now that lock is provided. Okay, timestamp is provided so that even if the data is concurrently accessed, it will not lead to the inconsistent state. Next is the sharing and security. Yes, you can share your data in the database management system. Why? Because your data is centralized. See, over here your data is centralized and data has been shared by the multiple user. And in the database management system, there is something called as a role-based access control. Okay, means even if I log into the database management system, I will not be able to access everything from the database because there is some kind of privilege that has been provided to me. Okay, whereas in your file system, once you log into the system, your system will ask you for the user password. Once you log in, you can access to each and every drive, you can access any file, you can write any file. Okay, so there is no kind of security, you can say, okay, in the file system. Next is the backup and recovery. Okay, in file system it doesn't offer backup, okay, and recovery of the data if it is lost, whereas in the database management system you can provide various backup and recovery of the data. Okay, because of many reasons there can be any kind of failure. Okay, so to achieve this you require the backup and recovery in the database management system. Next is the data abstraction. Okay, what is data abstraction? Data abstraction is a detail. Okay, so in the file system, it gives detail of the storage and representation of the data. Okay, in file system, it gives detail. Whatever data you are going to fetch, you will get the detail of the data. Okay, whereas in the database management system, the internal detail is hidden. Okay, it hides the internal detail of the database. Over here the various user can view the detail, then they can view the data, but not the complete schema and everything they cannot view. Okay, so that is the abstraction. Okay, so file system gives the detail of the storage and representation of the data, whereas the internal details of the database is hidden in the database management system. Okay, so here we have studied with the various points, that is what is the difference between the database management system and file system in term of structure, okay, in term of data redundancy, in term of query processing, in term of concurrency. Okay, so you cannot just difference it on the one basis, you are going to difference it on the various basis. This is concurrency, cost, sharing, backup and recovery. I hope you understood the difference between the file system and the database management system. Put your valuable comments. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you.